purpose is positive momentum, and it takes away so much pressure. It takes away the pressure of being in a box. And even if you've created a box and you're super successful in it, it gives you permission to get out of that box and to create something new.
You're watching Developing Potential with Diana Keuilian.
Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are talking about how to find purpose. So in 15 minutes or less here, I am going to help you find your purpose. And that sounds like a tall order, but let's do it. Let's get at it. I can remember back when I had just graduated from high school and I was actually on the drive down to Southern California. I graduated from high school in Washington State, and it's a long drive down to Southern California to go to school. And I remember I was in the car with my family and I was taking this test. Somebody had devised a test on how to figure out what you should major in college to figure out what you're going to do with your life. And at that time, it was this big question. What are you going to be? What are you going to do? What's your major? And I took this test as honestly as I could. And it was essentially like kind of aggregating all of your interests and talents and trying to kind of figure out what excites you. And the results were so frustrating for me because I had a lot of interests and I had, a lot of areas that excited me. And it wasn't a cut and dry, put me in a box and say, you're going to go and become a dentist or something to that effect, where it was like, this is your purpose. Being that young and just wanting somebody to tell me, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to be, looking for that label. And I think it's easy to fall into this idea of we need a purpose that's super well defined. And so today with this episode, I want to challenge that definition of purpose. The definition that essentially takes our purpose and turns it into a label. So instead of looking at purpose as a role, looking at purpose as a state of motion. So I want to say that again. So instead of looking at purpose as a defined role in society, I need to be this, looking at purpose as a state of motion. So I want you to start getting your wheels spinning on that idea. And so when we really do look at purpose as this defined thing, this defined label, what ends up happening is that we can feel overwhelmed with the task of deciding, what is my purpose? What box should I put myself in? And then is that box going to give me all the fulfillment and all the excitement and the life adventure that I want? How can any box do that for you? And so then we start to feel stagnant. We feel so confined in this box that we sought out. We wanted to be put in a box, right? Especially in that stage of like, what's your major in school? Like, are you going to be, and I majored in physical education back in school because I was a fitness person and I loved everything to do with the physical body. And I was put in that box for a lot of years. And then I realized as I did get to a place where I did feel stagnant, I was no longer being challenged. And I think a lot of people experience this. And I know this just from conversations that I've had with friends who are similar to my age, where, in our 20s and 30s, we built something, we accomplished something, we put ourselves in a box and we conquered that box. But then you get to 40 and you start to think like, what's next? What else is there? And when we stay in that box and we don't go on to the next adventure, we start to feel the sense of emptiness. And it's contradictory because we have our purpose, right? I was a fitness person, like I had my purpose, but it was stagnant and it wasn't exciting anymore. And so I started to realize that purpose is a moving target, but purpose is an action. It's a state of motion. And so it's that will inside of you for adventure and growth. And so if we identify purpose with that drive inside of us, rather than with a label, or rather with a specific role, then we're always going to have that drive and that excitement. So we've talked about this in a previous episode. Friends, how do you get everything you want out of life? And we decided it's create a long-term vision in the theater of your mind and set short-term goals to get you there. And so purpose is the engine that pushes you through each of those goals that ultimately gets you into that long-term vision. And then even as you're accomplishing it, the long-term vision resets. As you achieve it, it's almost like there's a bend in the road. And so you're where you thought you wanted to be, but then you realize, oh shoot, this journey's not over. Now I can see around the corner. Now I can see what the long-term vision looks like in the next 5 years. But the driving force is purpose. It's purpose. It's this will to adventure and this will to growth. So it's similar to in fitness, we have a goal weight. And I have come to hate the goal weight because it's a useless concept. If you diet and exercise and achieve a specific number on the scale, but then you go back to your previous lifestyle, you go back to eating whatever you want, and you go back to not doing your workouts, the goal weight goes away. It's not about a goal weight. Just like, in my opinion, it's not about a purpose, a label, right? It's not about being in this specific state. It's about the motion of getting there. And the there has to change. And so depending on where you are in life, getting to those turns in the road and being at one of those turns can be one of the scariest times. You know, if you've been building a business for the past several years and you get to this place where being in that business every day, it no longer excites you. And you're the guy at the top, you're doing great. You know, you've accomplished so much. There was a time and a place where it put fire in you to get there and to push and to push and to grow. But you come to that turn in the road, and you realize the purpose isn't there anymore. And you look around the corner and you see, oh, my long-term vision has changed. It's evolved. And so defining your purpose as that will to grow, that momentum that you have going with you. And so, you know, whenever a topic like this comes up, I love to say, because I've done it so many times in my own life, if you're at that place where you do feel stagnant and you're not feeling purpose as a state of being, as a fire that gets you out of bed, the perfect place to start is with your physical body. Because we can all, for the most part, unless we're an elite athlete or someone who's just really focused on, you know, maximizing their body, we can all improve our physical fitness. It's a universal opportunity to improve your diet, to start exercising. And I mean exercising both your cardio system with running or cycling or swimming, your lungs, your heart, but then also to challenge yourself with resistance training. Like women, I'm speaking to you right now because there is so much for you to unlock when you go and you crush a resistance training workout in the gym 5 days a week and you start to build muscle. And this muscle is not just about strength. It's not just about being able to pick something up that's heavy or move something. And it's certainly not about getting big and bulky, because that is incredibly difficult and in many cases for us impossible to get big and bulky. It's about strengthening our muscle tissue, which when we do that, yes, we look better. Yes, we have more strength. Yes, we have more energy. Yes, our metabolism is higher. Yes, we burn more fat throughout the day. But more than that, our hormone system, our sensitivity to insulin, all of this, all the chemicals that run through our organs are healthier and cleaner. And my friend, Dr. Gabrielle Lyons, she talks about the importance of muscle, and she's instilled this in me. She calls muscle the organ of longevity. And friends, once you hit 40 and you start getting into, middle age and beyond, longevity matters, right? Having the energy and having the health. Health is the most basic, fundamental thing that we need to thrive. And everything that I'm teaching you here in this podcast is about reaching the next level of yourself and improving what you have, accessing more of your radiance by taking good care of your body, by, being good to your emotional network and flushing out negative energies, and then by maximizing your thinking mind and getting rid of those distorted thoughts and irrational belief systems and focusing in on a long-term vision with short-term goals, right? We're trying to create this system of who we are that thrives and that moves forward. Without health, how do we do that, right? I mean, I had a cold a couple weeks ago, and let me tell you, it was just a cold, but everything was off. My whole system was off because my health was dampered. You're looking for purpose in your life, and that gateway purpose is to get your body in the best shape you've ever been in. It is incredibly invigorating to shed fat, to build muscle, and to just feel so good in your own skin, to have people tell you like, wow, you're doing something different. Like, you look healthy, you look good. Let me tell you, that fuels that will for growth. And for myself, about a year and a half ago, I went through a whole fitness program and lost a bunch of fat. It gave me this confidence to say, I want to change my career. I didn't start my weight loss to change my career, but by starting a weight loss program and really empowering my body, it created that momentum. And if purpose is positive momentum, then what I was doing, and it was just a 12-week program, what I was doing in those 12 weeks was building my purpose, building this positive momentum in my system that had no choice but to spill over, to push me in the other parts of my life and say, challenge yourself, go do something scary, go do something different, right? Look around the corner and see how the long-term vision changed. It's out there now. Look at it. You're not going to sit on your laurels in the success that you've had in the past, because let me tell you, success just fades like that. It's a movement. And so that's the thought I want to leave you with today and this week, friends, is purpose is positive momentum. And it takes away so much pressure, because you don't have to say, I want to be a dentist, or I want to be whatever it is, whatever this label or this purpose that you thought you needed to put yourself in a box. It takes away the pressure of being in a box. And even if you've created a box and you're super successful in it, it gives you permission to get out of that box and to create something new. And so, friends, just this week, think about purpose as positive momentum, and then ask yourself, where can I stimulate more positive momentum in my life? And I highly encourage you to start in the gym. Start by getting on a fitness program, clean up your diet, go crazy with it. Give yourself the challenge. I love 12-week challenges because you can do a lot. That's 1/4 of a year, 25% of a year, 3 months. There's so much that you can do. And if you start with your physical body, watch the change you can make in 12 weeks. And watch how that positive momentum just infiltrates every other part of your life and really helps you to just move to the next place. Move on. This is that becoming. What are you becoming? And just leaning into positive momentum in your life. Okay, extra credit for the week. Initiate positive momentum in your life. And again, I highly encourage you, if you're at a place where there's not a lot of positive momentum, start with your physical body. It's the lowest hanging fruit. It will give you the biggest reward in the shortest amount of time. And you're going to see how that positive momentum grows and then spills over in the most beautiful way into the rest of your life and gives you that boost forward. And I'm super excited for you, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share this with somebody in your life who's currently struggling. Share it with that young student who's trying to figure out what label they're going to put on themselves, or your friend who just turned 40 who's freaking out and doesn't know, what the next chapter holds. Share this message of purpose as positive momentum. Let's share it, let's pass it on, and let's just help each other increase our radiance and live our best life possible. Thank you, friends. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching Developing Potential with Diana Keuilian.